Hey there, my name is Shawn, and I am 22 years old, and today, I am here to give you a short brief history about George Floyd and his life as a man who strived a lot, especially before his murder back in 2020. George Perry Floyd Jr., better known as George Floyd, was born on October 14, 1973, in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Floyd grew up in Houston, where he ended up playing football and basketball as a kid growing up. Life was really tough for him, as he faced many crimes that he was convicted of, which was said to be 8 in total, and therefore served a minimum of 4 years in prison after accepting a plea bargain for a 2007 aggravated robbery and a home invasion. In 2013, when he was paroled for the first time, he was a mentor in his religious community and began posting anti-violence videos to social media. In 2014, 1 year after he was paroled from prison, he moved to Minneapolis, where he worked as a truck driver and bouncer. In 2020, he lost both jobs during the COVID-19 pandemic, which wasn't easy for him at all. Young Floyd's parents were separated when he was only 2 years old, and his mother moved with the children down to Houston, Texas. He was primarily raised in an African-American neighborhood through a public housing complex, as he grew up as a child after their parents were divorced back then. Floyd ended up attending Ryan Middle School and graduated from Yates High School as the class of 1993. When he was a student at Yates, he was the co-captain of his school's basketball team, playing as a power forward, and was also on the football team as a tight end, and in 1992, his team went on to the Texas State Championships. After graduating from Yates High School, Floyd attended the South Florida Community College for 2 years through a football scholarship grant and also played on the college's basketball team as well. He then transferred to Texas A&M University Kingsville in 1995, where he also continued to play basketball before he dropped out. Floyd then became a friend of NBA player Stephen Jackson, who was referred to as his twin because of their strong relationship together, and after being introduced in the 1990s, at his tallest, he was only 6 feet 6 inches tall. By the end of his autopsy, he was then 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighed 223 pounds. As an adult, Floyd ended up returning to Houston from college to Kingsville, Texas, where in 1995, he became an automotive customizer and played club basketball. In 1994, he performed as a rapper using the stage name, Big Floyd, in the hip-hop group Screwed Up Click. Fast forward to 2020. On May 25, 2020, police were called to a grocery store involving a store employee, which media outlets say that Floyd had used a fake $20 bill, and Floyd was sitting in a car with 2 other passengers. Cops forcibly removed him from the vehicle and detained him as cops alleged that Floyd struggled with the officers and began saying repeatedly that he was not able to breathe perfectly while pinned to the ground. Floyd was unfortunately murdered by Officer Derek Chauvin, a white former Minneapolis police officer who was the one that pinned him to the ground on Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds approximately. That is where Floyd, unfortunately, died of cardiopulmonary arrest and sparked many protests the day of and the day after, which affected many regions and countries worldwide, and physically, that is where the movement that we all know today, the Black Lives Matter movement, formed by 3 black women, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, but however, the BLM movement culturally was founded as a movement by these ladies back in 2013. Floyd died on the same day he was pinned down on the ground by police, and the officer who restrained him faced many charges in a court hearing and was sentenced to 22.5 years in state prison. George Floyd remains today as a deeply significant historic figure after his death, and his legacy is still viewed not just through the lens of a single tragic event, but as a permanent catalyst that shaped the global conversation about civil rights and discrimination as well. And with that, I now conclude my short brief history about George Floyd, with only a piece of education, right at your fingertips.